Uh, After COVID-19 spreads, everyone is ready to go out and catch up. Whoever goes around Bangkok will see Plan B media along with your journey. And when you go at the airport to go overseas, or even you want to grab something to eat at the 7-Eleven, you cannot ignore Plan B media. In other words, Plan B is everywhere. Besides, the out-of-home media sector is drawing attention, plus the power of synergy among partners leads to the triumphant return of out-of-home media giant. We are therefore confident our recommendation to buy for Plan B. Our ticket price is 9.12 baht per share, representing upside 20.2% over Plan B stock price on December 30, 2022. Let's get story begin. Which brought to you by Team BT. The first one is Plan B financial performance. Plan B Media Public Company Limited is leading provider of out-of-home advertising media services and production in Thailand. Plan B extended a wide variety of out-of-home media platforms through innovation and technology, make up 70% of total revenue, and in 30% of total revenue come from the fast-growing engagement marketing business, including sport and music. So, Plan B generated double-digit organic growth of 10.5% CAGR in the past 5 years. And however, in 2020, they had two things that significantly impact Plan B financial performance. First, COVID-19 spreads, because everyone to stay in their houses more than go outside. That made the total revenue drop from the prior year. And second, the adoption of TFRS 16 in Plan B financial statement, which lists many items, because recognition of this item to increase from the prior year, resulting in a further decline in merging RE and RA ratio.
Well, from the past financial performance, you're probably wondering what makes us confident that Plan B will make a big comeback. And here are two key drivers that will make this business grow. The first, the unfolding of COVID-19 situation. After the post of pandemic, causing people to return to do outdoor activity, and definitely increasing out-of-home time will increase eyeballs rate, resulting in the overall out-of-home media will increase to 20%. And moreover, outdoor activities such as sport event and concert are planned to organize until next year. This is positively affect to Plan B, which has an engagement marketing business in sport and music. So we expect that the revenue growth in 2022 of around 30% and reaching 5,800 million baht and growing at average of 9% in the next 2 years. The second one, the competitors to lover. The power of synergy in our home media business group occurred to reduce the number of competitors, increase the customer power, bargaining power along with a higher price of media package. So this can make more revenue. Another benefit of cooperation is making economic of scale by co-utilizing media resources. The big event from last year was Plan B replacing Aqua Screen and writing off their assets. So this can reduce depreciation costs, amortization costs, and rental costs. We expect the operating margin improve to 17% and the net profit margin will improve to 13% by 2024. As a result, ROA and ROE will improve to 6% and 11% accordingly. Due to both of key drivers, we predict that Plan B liquidity position will be flat until the next 2 years. The current ratio will adjust slightly due to increased cash flow from operating activity. And in the long-term risk, we expect that PDE ratio will gradually decrease to 0.8 times by 2024. And this is because of the debt repayment and maintain its short-term borrowing. And we expect that Plan B will be able to return to get higher free cash flow for around 31% CAGR due to the increased operating performance from revenue growth and maintain their CapEx and slow down their CapEx.
And now let me show you how we produce the intrinsic value of Plan B. The FCFF methodology was chosen to generate the intrinsic value. We use growth rate from sales along with our strong belief assumption. WACC is 7.11% and terminal growth rate based on the average Thai GDP 5 years. Along with which is 1.18%. And finally, our target price is 9.8 baht per share. The out-of-home media sector has a pretty high PE ratio. So forward multiple PE is the relative method. So forward multiple is the relative method we selected along with EV per EBITDA. And for PE, we arrived at 8.38 baht per share. And enterprise multiple at 9.38 baht per share. And finally, FCFS methodology is using GDP as a terminal growth rate. That makes FCFS methodology is long-term forecasting. So we use PE methodology to average. Actually, PE is a short-term forecasting. Finally, our intrinsic value, we average prices from FCFF and PE method. Our target price is 9.1 baht per share.
Okay, in terms of risks, let's start with the first one, economic fluctuation. We took into consideration by mounting up the sensitivity analysis. We have a belief that this risk will give a bad case scenario. So, the intrinsic value could fall from 9.1 to 8.69 Thai baht per share. The second risk is excessive obligation to the counterparty. Plan B has obligation to pay 1.2 million US dollar for the Asian Games 2022. So the last one is the resignation rate that increased about 1% from the last year. However, Plan B demonstrates good risk assessment and management components. Therefore, Plan B can prevent the risks that impact the business performance as soon as possible. Plan B's corporate governance mechanism makes us believe that ESG framework can result in sustainable long-term growth. In other words, effective governance structure could ensure shareholders and investors trust. For the social wise, Plan B takes stakeholders into account. For example, customer relationship management, human resource management, and social responsibility. It has good resulting in social awareness and supporting company reputation. In terms of environment, Plan B replaces LED that save electricity consumption and reduce greenhouse effects. This can save resources for the next generation. Altogether, we believe that Plan B value will rise up, and we highly recommend you to buy on Plan B. Thank you for your attention, and the floor is now open for Q&A session.
Okay, first question. Can I see your forecast estimate gross margin in the next 3 years that you show during the first slide? Gross margin. How much is fixed cost portion in the cost of goods sold for Plan B?
Can you repeat the question again?
In the cost of goods sold of Plan B, how much portion is fixed cost and how much portion is variable cost?
Yes, and this is our the income statement. We use the cost of revenue growth by we use this from the as an assumption of the revenue growth. Yes.
What is your assumption on the utilization rate?
We believe that the fixed cost will flat until the next 2 years because of they have a synergy of others partners. So we thought that this can reduce their fixed cost. Yes.
And if the fixed cost is flat, why you use the cost of goods sold as percentage of revenue?
But it's the forecast. Our forecast is flat until the next 2 years.
But you said it's fixed cost.
The fixed cost is administrative expense. Yes. And so we think that the cost of goods sold will improve. Cost improve along with the sales growth.
And can you elaborate more on how you arrive at the sales growth assumption?
Yes, we use the linear regression of revenue.
And okay. And how can we reduce the cost from how can we reduce the cost, achieve the cost synergy from the M&A that you mentioned is one of the thesis you recommend to buy Plan B. What is that strategy?
Yes, we use the synergy of among with our home business. We the significant event that happened from last year is Plan B using the alpha stream and writing off the asset. So the writing off the assets can reduce the depreciation cost and the rental cost. Yes.
When you mentioned that the PE ratio of this industry is quite high, so and then you use it as one of the valuation approach. Can you give the reason why it's justified for investor to pay PE of 45 times?
According to the valuation perspective, we use the FCFL to considering as the long-term valuation, and we together with relative PE ratio will considering as the short-term valuation. So we use it together to because we believe that the investor should consider in the long term and short term valuation.
Okay, let me phrase it this way. Why this company has such a high PE ratio compared to the market? Why is it justified for that? Let's say market PE ratio is 15, but this one is 40 times. Why is it justified for investors to pay such a high price? What is so special about the company?
The Plan B PE ratio is high because of the last in the 2021 yes the profit margin
In a COVID-19 spread, EPS of home advertising media is low and loss. So it made PE of out-of-home media pretty high.
So now we are post-COVID already, and then the EPS should come back. So the PE at that level is still good to make such a valuation.
Yes, we believe that is good for the valuation.
In terms of the risk that you mentioned, one of the risks you mentioned is resignation risk. Why do you think it's such a big risk to the company?
You talk about it in
the human resource, yes.
Obligation, yes. Because of the Plan B have a synergy of the with the partner, and they have to so they have an obligation in a long-term lease, and we thought that this is a risk because this is a risk because the obligation is very high, and
this is the most cost of company, and if partners such as Marco or Aqua is
okay, never mind. Okay, go ahead.
I think we can move on to the next.
okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
For the terminal growth assumption, why do you think 1% is a good assumption? Why do you use the period that overlap with the COVID period and you think is a good assumption for terminal growth?
yes, I think because of the nature of business depends on economic growth, and we use the Thai GDP average in the 5 years, and that's why we use the Thai GDP because of I think that from the past the revenue of Plan B have reduced from because of the pandemics. So the pandemics
we think that in the next few years, economy of Thai, if there will be economy fluctuation or repression economy, so we will use terminal growth from pre-pandemic time.
How much is the long-term Thai economic growth forecast? Do you have any data from like World Bank or Bloomberg? That's okay. How much is that?
This is from
BOT.
The long-term Thai economic growth, BOT, 1%.
Oh, average, the average Thai GDP 5 years.
No, I mean the forecast like next 10 years.